Scoopla. Stars, gossip, hype.
So you were known as the feisty and frosty Big Brother babe,
Wow.
and you're finally out of the house. How did you think you went?
Look, it's so hard to gauge it. Like, I thought there were a lot of moments where I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be that girl, that mean girl. I was like, oh, so yeah, I guess I've just kind of owned it a little bit, right?
I like an upfront person, so, you know, you won me over.
Okay, good. That's good news. I'm like, who else do you be? You know, if you can't be yourself.
Tully said that she handpicked you and signed, sealed and delivered you, sent you off to Alex Mavrodikis. How much of that is true?
It is completely true. So I was working for General Pants. She came in for a PR showing and said to me, you are amazing, you'd be perfect for Big Brother. Text him, and then obviously I still went through the process. But yeah, Tully, I'm going to have to take her out for a drink and say thank you.
Do you think you'll be like what Tully has done and become like a fashionista with your Instagram? Do you think we'll see something like that forming?
Look, I would hope so. Like, I tried in the house, you know, like I tried to wear cool stuff. Like, you are just literally going into a group of people who already know you, but I did try to set myself aside. Like, I love my fashion. It is a big part of my life. So if I can do that, I will be a very happy lady.
Obviously, everyone's talking about your relationship with David, and when you had a fight with him, you said, girls like me don't go to prom with guys like you. What did you mean by that?
Look, it's kind of my go-to whenever I'm out somewhere at a bar or whatever and somebody is kind of being mean to me, like a boy. Usually it comes off a lot better than what it did in the spa. It's kind of, it's more of a joke. It kind of goes off quite well in the real world, and we both have a laugh about it and it breaks the frost. But in there, clearly it hit a bit of a raw nerve. So, I don't know, maybe I was that girl that wouldn't go to the prom with a guy like him. I don't know.
It was a good line, though.
I thought so. I've used it for years.
From the beginning of the season, though, it was almost like you didn't get along well with David, and it might have been a comment that he made about maybe your breasts at the start.
Yeah, look, I was worried that that's how it was going to be seen. You know, it wasn't necessarily about the fact that he told me that, you know, my breasts were great and then got in with the boys and told them that it was cat, that it was more like just realising at that moment that I wasn't with my friends anymore. You know, it's quite confronting when you're a female and you're listening to boys pick apart your body, you know. And yeah, I do have fake boobs, but, you know, I'm not someone that necessarily gets them out all the time. And, you know, I just... What?
I didn't know.
I just think they were real. God was not that kind. But I have a great surgeon.
You've got the wrong plumbing for me, so I must admit I haven't been looking.
Yes, well, there you go. So, yeah, it was just hard kind of listening to that. I should never have put my ear to the door. I think that sometimes, you know, you don't want to hear that stuff. And I did take offence to it. So it did start off a little bit frosty, definitely.
Do you know what, though? He wasn't the main person that was talking about it either, which I thought was interesting because he never then came back and sort of clarified that. He did take the brunt of it.
Okay.
Do you think that hearing that, does that make you regret the interactions that you've had with David during the show?
Yeah, definitely. You know what, the last few days, like I'm not sure how much has been seen, but we have bonded so much. Like I feel like the thing in the spa was a catalyst. We both needed to get it all out and lay it all on the table and then have a hug, and we moved on from there. You know, I was kind of like, obviously I was, you know, upset that he'd been saved and I was going home, but he is also someone that I actually generally don't have a problem with. Like, it's really weird and things in there get blown up so much. I know that when he gets out, like, we will catch up and we're probably going to end up being amazing friends. Like, his best friend's named Lisa. I was like, you probably hate Lisas for the rest of your life. But yeah, the last few days he's been himself, and I've really enjoyed my time with him. So yeah, I do regret all that rubbish, but there you go, it is what it is, I guess.
Now, I know you're from Sydney.
I am.
But were you aware that Jake and Tim Dormer were housemates?
I was not. I've just been informed. And yeah, that's a bit of a spin out because I remember asking him, like, you know, you have conversations like who you live with, blah, blah, and he was like, oh, I can't say. And I had no idea. It's crazy. Crazy.
What did you think of Tim Dormer when he came into the house? Was it overwhelming?
Not for me. I feel like because I try to play that kind of like cool person, I like people to come to me. Like, I don't want to really like run around and chase him. I thought it was great that he kind of took Dave. I told Dave to shave his beard. So when he came out without a beard, I was more than happy that that's what happened. He was like, when I said to him, I was like, you need to shave your beard. You keep getting up for nominations. It's going to be good for you for the outside world if you get rid of the beard, because it creeped me out badly. So I was just trying to give him some feedback. He was like, well, I'm not going to conform. And then Tim told him to do it and he did it. So, you know, good for him. Then I didn't mind if he touched me. I don't know, it was weird. The beard was weird. And
I hate beards.
Yeah, but I couldn't see his face. Like, I like to be able to kind of read situations and read people, but I couldn't see his expressions, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit.
If Jake hadn't made this move on Sky, do you think once he had made the move on you that you might have been more willing?
Look, I don't know. Jake and my relationship was kind of deeper than that. Like, I didn't want it to be that we were that couple on Big Brother that hooked up. I care about him so much, and I feel like that in there, you know, it could have been perceived as something that was a showmance or fake or whatever else. Like, I'm actually that person that likes to meet people, and if someone breaks through my wall, they're going to be my friend for life. So, you know, who knows? But yeah, I don't think so.
It was an unauthentic relationship sort of between you and Jake that people couldn't put their fingers on, and they couldn't work out if you didn't like him or whether or not he didn't have the right feelings for you. How would you describe that relationship? Is he the sort of person you think you'd be with on the outside?
No, that's the thing. Like, he's not someone that I would usually be attracted to, but from the moment I met him, there was an instant connection. Like I said, you know, like his words and who he is and his positive attitude, like, he's just a true human being. And when you meet those people, you've got to hold on to them tight. And I didn't want it just to be that kind of fake thing in the house. Like, I knew that further on from the show, because there is a life outside of there, you know, and people do forget that. You know, I know that him and I will be friends for a very, very long time, and I think that we cemented that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that if Kat and Lawson stay inside the house for longer, do you think their relationship is going to heat up, or do you think that they're smart enough to cool it down?
I think that it'll stay the same. I think Kat is really into it, and Lawson's trying to hold himself back. You know, as a female, I kind of did feel for his girlfriend, but then I also saw Kat's point of view. You know, if you meet someone and you kind of fall for them, that's what I said to her. My advice was, if this is serious and this is true in your heart, then run with it. You know, but it's hard. You know, she's a divorcee, she's 31, like, it's a little bit odd. Just
everyone in Australia is going wild over it.
Yeah, and just like even the Leo Sky thing, like 30 and 20, like, I don't know, it's just weird to me. But
I think we call that limited options.
Totally, right? Like, just putting the feelers out, like octopussing. And I guess that's what kind of annoyed me, because she fought so hard for Jake and kind of took my best friend away from me in the house, because I just took a total step back. But then as soon as Leo came, she was willing to push him aside. You know, that annoyed me. She would have been up for nominations this week had I have stayed.
Who, Sky?
Yeah. We were like, 5 points.
My sister sent me a text message before, and she said, I just kept thinking that when you first went in there as pairs, she felt like there was some real rivalry between the two of you. Were there moments where you were sitting with Sky and thinking, why am I paired up with this person, and how will this affect my time?
Totally. Like, when I first saw her on the stage, and it's so hard when someone says, what was your first, you know, what did you first think of me when you saw her? I was freaking out, because that is the total opposite woman of who I would want to spend my time with. Like, as soon as I saw her, I was just like, oh, I don't hang out with people like this in my real life. Like, they're the girls that I walk past and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, you know, like, even the way she dresses and stuff and just holds herself, but it works for her. Yeah. And that is her. And, you know, you can't, you know, hate on someone because that's who they are. You know, she is who she is and I am who I am. And it did become a competition.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
It did. And I was like, oh, this is what it's going to be now. It's going to be Lisa versus Sky. And I knew she was strong, you know, and I've never really been intimidated by someone like that before, but I thought she's got the cards, you know, she's holding them.
Well, people are already saying that she's being sort of earmarked to win the show. Do you think that it's likely, from the insider's perspective, that you think that Sky could win?
Look, people did not like Sky in the house. It's one of those things, if people inside the house were voting, then I would still be there and Sky would be out, you know? Like, it's very hard, and they kind of, she's only 20 excuses kind of run its course now. Yeah. You just see that some people don't actually care about other people. I don't know, it's just a different upbringing, you know? So. It's kind of, she's like rainbows and lollipops and all that, and I'd love to live my life like that, but that's not...
That's not the real world.
No, it's not.
I guess you're kind of answering my question. Who do you think should have been evicted tonight?
I don't think it should be Sky. I don't think she should have been evicted tonight, just because she does bring something to the show. She's interesting to watch, and, you know, she acts like she's a lot dumber than what she is. She's a lot smarter than what she pretends she is, you know, and even having chats about upbringing and high school, she's always been that kind of popular girl, you know. She doesn't care whose feet she treads on. I think it should have been Kat, just because she's a little bit bland, you know, and I have got to know her a little bit over the last couple of days, but I knew the Lawson connection was going to get her a little bit further. So maybe I should have latched on and kissed some boys. I don't know.
I don't think you need to turn back time.
I know.
You don't look like Cher to me.
No.
Katie mentioned that you were thinking about moving in together.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility of there being a Big Brother spin-off between the two of you?
Yeah, why not? We might as well take our own show, like the Mega Bitches. We used to call ourselves the Witches of Eastwick, and we used to wear black and like kind of have a giggle about it. So I'd love to live with Katie.
What do you think of Leo?
I'm not sure if I'm buying what Leo is selling.
Do you believe that he's lying to the housemates about what he's seen so far?
Yeah, totally. The whole TV thing, like, I don't buy it. When the guy's talking about, like, hanging out at strip clubs and telling me all dirty stories, he's not as all namaste as he makes out he is, you know. It's clear that the guy has a TV and he's been watching it. I mean, anyone in their right mind that's going into a situation like that, you'd watch it. You'd look back, you'd research, and you'd find out what clique and where you wanted to be. And he knew everyone's names way too quickly. Like, I was still there on, like, day 8 going to Sky in bed. Okay, the guy with the beard, like, what's his name? And the guy with the hair and the magic guy, like, I'm like, what are their names? I'm so bad. But he knew straight away. So he already had me pinned. He kind of said to me, I didn't pick you, I picked Aisha because she had a smile, blah, blah, blah. The word for me, like, intimidating, got thrown around so much. I was like, it's not my fault I was born like this. I just have a resting bitch face.
My best friend has a resting bitch face, and so does my partner, so I'm used to it. So I'm just having a... That's the Botox.
It's like my boy. I think I pumped it before I got in here. Some people fist pump like Trav, other people pump Botox. Like.
How old were you when you decided to do something like that?
So my breasts were like 2 years ago on Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, girls. And Botox was before I came in here. It was one of those things where I didn't really do it and upkeep it. I wasn't really that worried about it. But you know, you're going to be on a show with people watching you. Like, it was crazy sitting on stage and watching myself back. I was like, oh my God, you shouldn't have put your hair in a bun and like hold your posture better. That's what I was thinking while Sonny's talking to me, and looking at yourself. You know, you are your own worst critic.
Absolutely. Some of the biggest personalities actually have been evicted in this season in the first few weeks, and we've found ourselves in there with a few fence sitters. Mm-hmm. If you could evict 2 people right now who are those fence sitters and are not providing the content, who are those 2 people?
Look, I'd probably go Kat, definitely, just because I think she's a little bit vanilla and she's a little bit bland. She could probably go. And I hate to say it because I adore her, but Priya as well, you know, she's kind of in the middle of everything. And even though she was close with me, I think for entertainment value, she could go and it wouldn't be like a massive dent in the house.
Do you have any regrets?
Yeah, totally. I regret the way I nominated. I should have been smarter with it, and I did kind of sit there and fight with myself whether to put Sky up this week, and had I have given her 1 point, she would have been up and I would have been clear, as would have Aisha and Kat. So that's definitely my biggest regret. But I still felt a loyalty, like, even though she did my head in, I felt like, you know, the older sister had gone in with this kind of young 20-year-old, and still felt like I had to kind of protect her under my wing, even though she was a person that I definitely butted heads with the most. Yeah. I hadn't thought that she had nominated me, so I kind of just wanted to pay that back. So I am who I am, you know, but that's definitely my biggest regret.
Do you want to thank the people from Scoopla who have voted along the way? Yeah, totally. You can do it to this camera here.
Scoopla, thank you so much for your love and support. I am so blessed to have guys like you and girls like you out there that took the time to vote for me, and, you know, for everything you've done. I'm appreciative and I love you very much, so thank you.
Amazing.
Yay.
Scoopla. Stars, gossip, hype.